what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets heard glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
I'm Vincent Johnson, Interim Dean of the School of Law. It is my great pleasure to be with you today for this special occasion. I would like to welcome the new graduates of our Juris Doctorate, Master of Laws, and Master of Jurisprudence programs, and also your family and friends. Our virtual ceremony today is not the kind that anyone would have envisioned when you started your journey in legal education. But that does not make the event any less meaningful or your accomplishments any less impressive. When you were admitted to St. Mary's University School of Law a short while ago, that was because you showed promise. You are here today because you fulfilled that promise in your academic programs through hard work and determined efforts. During your time at St. Mary's, you have also excelled in so many other ways, in the advocacy competitions, on the law journals, as pro bono volunteers, at the clinics, as research assistants and Dean's Research Fellows, as part of the Warrior Defense Project, in campus ministry programs, as international scholars in our Innsbruck and Beijing programs, in judicial internships, in public service externships, as leaders of the Student Bar Association and dozens of student organizations. You have a right to be proud. You have availed yourselves of the opportunity for a first-class legal education. You now rank among the best educated professionals in the United States. The faculty and staff are very proud of you. Not surprisingly, we expect great things from you. We expect you to do your share to improve the law and the legal system, to make legal services available to all segments of society, to fight discrimination and corruption, and to build a more just world, to foster stronger communities through leadership in civic institutions. As the coronavirus pandemic subsides, we hope that you use your talents to rebuild the economy, domestic prosperity, and international trade, not to mention restoring the arts and protecting the environment. As lawyers, you will sort out claims, advise businesses, serve judges, write new laws, and advance the search for justice. If this sounds daunting, just remember that these things are what the graduates of St. Mary's University School of Law have been doing honorably and effectively for nearly 100 years. Our thousands of graduates have excelled in countless parts of the legal profession, as prosecutors and public defenders, corporate counsel and family lawyers, law teachers and legislators, public interest litigators, and law reform catalysts. Our graduates have served in the United States Senate and House of Representatives, as lawyers at the White House and the United States Supreme Court, as governor of Pennsylvania and lieutenant governor of Missouri, as State Bar Association presidents in Texas and Colorado, as federal judges, as justices of the Texas Supreme Court, as judges of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, and in hundreds of other judicial and governmental positions. The degree that you have earned from St. Mary's University means that you have the ability to excel on many fronts and in countless ways. Make the most of that opportunity. Congratulations and enjoy this great day.
I have prayed at law school graduations for the last 27 years through many history-making moments, but I always had your faces in front of me. So I chose to stand in front of the statue of St. Joseph, where you would come and go to class, and remember you. And as a Marianist University, I also look to Mary and Joseph, who had to deal with their challenging and changing times with faith and resilience. And so I pray. Loving God, my heart goes out to these graduates today, seeking to make their world in extraordinary circumstances. God of justice, I pray you give them wisdom to forge their future in the law. Grant them the foresight to act with charity and true concern for the well-being of the people they will serve as practitioners in the law. May they know your peace as they work to achieve it. And I lift up in gratitude Dean Johnson, our administration and faculty, who had to adapt to new learning environments for the well-being of our educational community. Our Lady of Guadalupe, wrap us in the mantle of your love. And today, may you reach out with words of gratitude to the family and friends who have supported you. And I pray for all who have protected our health and safety while risking theirs. Now, graduates, we are sending you out to join the ranks of our courageous and competent St. Mary's University Law alumni. May you be blessed with the same faith and resilience as Mary and St. Joseph and our Easter message assures us. And now, class of 2020, together, vaya con Dios.
My name is Dale Dean. Class of 2020, particularly Section C, thank you all for electing me as the student representative for the 2020 virtual commencement ceremony. By electing me, you essentially elected yourselves because I consider myself nothing more than the sum of our shared experiences. To find myself in the company of Dominic Castillo and Nadine Abu Hosa is an incredible honor. Congratulations to Dominique and Nadine on their nominations. Interim Dean Johnson, Prospective Dean Roberts, Law Administration, Law Faculty, Law Alumni, and the esteemed St. Mary's University School of Law, Class of 2020, welcome. Before I begin my remarks, I must acknowledge my wife and children, all of whom I owe a debt of gratitude for inspiring me to pursue this law degree. As you all are acutely aware, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. The coronavirus has left us confined, isolated, and uncertain as we struggle to complete our studies in our final semester. The lesson, Class of 2020, is that things don't always work out as planned. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, our pursuits are impeded. And when our pursuits are impeded, it's important that we rely on tools of resilience. I would suggest that 3 tools of resilience that we can rely on are diligence, faith, and perseverance. Class of 2020, you demonstrated extraordinary diligence by completing 16 credit hours and 17 credit hours in successive semesters during your first year. I don't know about you all, but I crawled out of here after our 1L year. Class of 2020, you are encouraged to exercise diligence in the maintenance of your health and wellness, not only for yourselves, but also for your loved ones and your fellow citizens. Let's exercise diligence in the pursuit of justice. Exercise diligence in the pursuit of justice on behalf of our clients. Next, Class of 2020, let's maintain the faith in our Creator. Let's maintain the faith in one another, and let's maintain the faith in the rule of law. After all, it was our faith in our Creator, our faith in one another, and our faith in the rule of law that sustained us here at St. Mary's. Finally, perseverance. Class of 2020, we must persevere. We persevered over countless trial and tribulation here at St. Mary's. We will no doubt have trials and tribulations that we must persevere over in the future. And we must persevere over the current state of affairs with coronavirus. Congratulations, Class of 2020. You exercised diligence. You maintained the faith. And we persevered. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I join Dean Johnson in welcoming graduates and your family and friends to our virtual spring 2020 law graduation ceremony. Congratulations, graduates, for earning this day of recognition. Many years ago, I too attended law school, and I know how hard you have worked, the sacrifices you and your families have made. Graduating from St. Mary's School of Law is a truly great achievement. And now the next stage of your journey into the legal profession begins, and I wish you bright futures ahead, personal as well as professional. Your time at the School of Law with our talented faculty and staff has prepared you, like scores of other St. Mary's Law grads, for successful careers. And like so many of the thousands of St. Mary's Law graduates, you've been preparing to serve not only your clients, but also your communities, to use your gifts and talents for the greater good. That's the St. Mary's difference. In a nutshell, that's our Catholic and Marianist mission as it applies to you as law graduates, to see the legal professional career that lies ahead for you as a vocational journey. A vocational journey in which you periodically in the coming months and years ask yourself, what greater purpose do I want to achieve as I look ahead? What are my goals for myself? How can I carry forward as a lawyer the values and ideals that I cherish in my personal life and those that you have developed while at St. Mary's? In closing, I wish you, our newest graduates, all the very best. I thank your family and friends who have provided so much support to you these past few years. God bless you all. And now the moment you've been waiting for, my conferral of your degree. I would ask each of the graduates to please stand. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of St. Mary's University, I confer upon each of you the respective academic degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations appertaining thereunto. And I offer my sincere congratulations.
Thank you for being with us today. I want to invite each of the new graduates to plan on participating in the in-person commencement ceremonies that will be held at the St. Mary's University campus in December 2020 or in May 2021. I invite your family and friends to come to those events so that we can celebrate your achievements once again. Congratulations.
you.